I want to walk you through a pattern that plays out in almost every leadership team that I work with, and it's one of the most expensive negative habits in business. Someone gets assigned a task, and the leader thinks it's clear. The person receiving it thinks that they understand. And somewhere in the gap between these two assumptions, the real expectation never actually lands. So 3 weeks later, the work comes back wrong or late or not at all, and the response is frustration and disappointment. Sometimes it's a difficult conversation about performance and attitude and whether this person is really up to it. But here's the question that almost never gets asked in that moment. Did they ever actually know what you expected? Were you crystal clear? Did you check their understanding? Most of the leaders I work with inherited a belief that goes something like this. Capable people should know what good or excellent looks like. They should be able to read the room, fill in the gaps, deliver to a standard without needing it to be spelled out over and over and over again. And I understand why this belief exists. Most senior leaders today built their careers by doing exactly that. They figured it out. They reversed engineered the expectation. And they reverse engineered from the context. So are you leading the way you were led? And here's the problem. That's a specific skill that not everyone has. Even the people who do will get it wrong in a new environment, under a new leader, or on an unfamiliar brief. So when you skip the setup and then punish the missed result, you're not running an accountability culture. You're running an ambiguity culture and calling the casualties underperformers. So what does the setup really look like? Before you hand anything over, be able to answer these 4 questions. What does success look like specifically, not generally? Who owns this, and what does owning it actually mean in practice? By when do I expect it, and has that deadline been agreed and committed to rather than assumed? And what should the person do if they hit a problem? 4 questions. They take a few minutes, but the absence of them costs weeks. The most accountable teams I've ever worked with are not the ones with the most pressure. They're the ones with the clearest shared picture of what they're trying to achieve. So before you go, sit with these questions. Where in your business right now is ambiguity being mistaken for trust? Think about your last delegation conversation. How clearly did you define what success looked like before the work began? And if your team could change one thing about how work gets handed to them, what do you think they would say? Creating an accountable culture relieves a mountain of stress. I've got a very practical tool and checklist that will allow you to do this easily. Imagine if everyone was doing what they needed to do. It would be bliss. If my questions land somewhere a little bit uncomfortable, come and find me. YvonneJohnston.co.za. That's exactly where the work starts.